How you doing, everybody, and welcome to Dicey Decisions, where we roll dice, spin stories, and play some... This week, I wanted to give a specific shout-out to something that I found. It's called the Tropes Jam Game Bundle. It is hosted by the Twitter account POC TTRPGs. I'm going to be linking it below for everyone who is watching this on YouTube, and for those listening on podcast. It is on itch.io. It is called the Tropes Jam Game Bundle. There's 10 pieces of content on here, all specifically made for the Tropes Game Jam. All of it's TTRPGs, all of it is a value of like $20. You can buy the whole thing for $20. And all of these, there's 10 games on here. It's absolutely spectacular. You should definitely take a look at it. It has, honestly, something for everyone on it. So go take a look. Once again, that's the Tropes Jam Game Bundle. It is hosted by POC and TTRPGs. You can check them out on Twitter. Make sure you give them a follow if you haven't already. So, without any further ado, let's jump into this episode of Dicey Decisions. Last time on Dicey Decisions. Thank you.
Trust me, I took a really long nap. I'm good at math now.
Oh, you're good at math now. Okay, cool. I'll just
That's
take your word
definitely
for it.
how it works.
I'll definitely take your word for
Absolutely
it.
how that works. They're so powerful now.
Well, yeah, anyway, so the two of them, so you throw the this javelin, you run up to the side of the wall and just yeet your javelin as you do. These things are fucking squishy as hell. And are immediately annihilated, both of them.
Oh no!
Bye bye.
I kind of want to talk to them. I feel so bad. I feel like they were just normal people and they just got oopsed into monsters.
Yeah.
They also have a
Well, now they just got oops dead.
And so the adventure continues. So yeah, now it's quiet actually where you are. I'm not gonna put any music quite yet. You'll have a moment to catch your breath. Do the two of you meet? Did the two of you meet Oran and Katrina down at the bottom, or do they come up to you?
Yeah, I'll go down to friends.
All
Hey,
right.
fellow.
Yeah, so you both
Set
kind of.
is extra fluffy right now.
So it's very extra fluffy. You all hop down, and we'll say you all kind of convene around this burnt out campfire.
Okay.
What would you like to do?
Can we rest?
I'm gonna say what the ever-loving hell does that friend of yours get up to, Oran? And I'm just gonna
Oh
like,
yeah. Yeah, wait a minute, what the fuck?
That's
I was
it.
like, wait, this is supposed to be
I have.
fine.
I'll be completely honest with you. I don't have a fucking clue what those things were. And I'm afraid of what we might find if we go in there. And he kind of turns around and looks into the dark of the mine shaft, which is further down
At least-
south.
At least we are all on the same page.
Look at the bodies.
yes, that's a really good plan.
What bodies?
There's nothing left over, even the stone one.
If you when
Shattered.
you left they all shattered. There were little bits of people left. Like, tell you what, if you go and investigate, I'm not gonna make you like move around, but go ahead and just roll a general investigation check. Either two of you roll an investigation check, or one of you roll with advantage for
Does
all
anyone
these
have-
bodies.
Does anyone have like high investigation?
Not I.
You still have your inspiration from Oran. I'll give you that,
I
Katrina.
still have mine. My investigation.
Yeah, both of you guys.
No, I used mine.
solid.
Oh, never mind then.
Yeah, I have mine. So if you want to roll yours too, since I have advantage or I have the D. It's a D6 for
It's a
bardic
D8.
inspiration.
I will also investigate alongside you. Oop, that was a waste of investigation.
Oh,
I
fuck,
got rolled a 5.
All right, Katrina.
And to add inspiration, I
/R space and then the amount in type of die.
D6.
D8.
Oh, 1d8. Yeah, it was a 20 to start with. 22.
Okay. Yeah, so you kind of walk around and investigate the bodies. The fire ones, there's really they burned away into ash. You do remember from your encounter with them, you did get up pretty close. They seem to resolve into orcish forms. There was a bit of like a shadow behind them. Think like a father from Kids Next Door. How it was kind of like the silhouette and everything. Yeah, they had a bit of an orcish form to them. You soot destroyed the kind of dust creature. The stone is kind of the stone one is the most solid of them all. Parts of it has crumbled away, but you can see that the bits that have crumbled away kind of have revealed the remains of what was once a human. For sure, maybe one of the miners of this facility. You can see the pickaxe kind of shaped stone part on his left hand, and the rest of him seems to be like a torn uniform. You find about the same effect with what you can see of the ice creatures as well. They seem to also be human.
Arthur. Shady.
Shady indeed.
I don't know if it's her that's shady or if it's just this god awful material.
True.
It doesn't feel natural.
Feels wrong. Ah,
Thick elementals.
Are we ready to go further in, or do we need to rest up? Or
what? Can we rest?
What time? Long rest. My spells. So
A long
and
rest
so.
is like a night.
I know. Voices that be.
But it would be awfully convenient if Soot could have all his spells back.
It would also be awfully convenient if you guys didn't die.
yeah, I don't know if sleeping here is the smartest and safest decision.
You're right.
Yeah. Okay.
Just like a rest. Just like a little rest. Just a little.
Thought we had a short rest on our way in.
You did.
What?
Yeah.
You took a short
Sure
rest for
did.
no reason on your way in.
Yep, sure did. Pulls up his britches and goes like, "All right, good to go.
Huh.
Good to
And
go."
Okay,
so I'm
let's go.
gonna check by the fire, check by just in general, look around and see if I see any signs of struggle or an accident. So see if there's any evidence of what caused these people to become what they were.
Well, I'll say with your original investigation, as you're moving around, you do see a lot of scuff marks, a lot of what seems to be fiery explosions. You seemed to kind of maybe have lucked out with the ones that you fought, that maybe they're, with how, fragile they were, they seem to have been able to deal out a lot of damage. And,
Yeah.
you do find the remains of a few corpses, here and there, not like whole bodies, more like maybe a hand, maybe some burned boots, some torn clothing. There's a couple of these piles of rocks have some pretty wet remains in them. This all seems to have happened like at least in the last few days for sure. And as your
Real quick.
investigation, yes.
Aw. This is just like flavor, but Soot does definitely do at peace prayers on all the
Gives
fallen
them,
foes that they.
yeah, it gives them some of his traditional rites, as it were.
Oh, this is unholy.
And as your investigation takes you closer towards the mine shaft, towards those tracks, you do see some of the boxes here have been knocked over. Parts of the ground seem to have that similar sublimating alexite substance, or at least remnants of it. You see bits of dust, bits of crystal, bits of gold, silver even, but it's all in these very fine chunks, as if it was like ground into a powder.
I'm gonna
They're
be
snorting it.
very careful around that, and I'm gonna
They're
cover my
snorting it.
my nose and everything, and
You
just be like,
yeah, you give the boxes a wide berth and you're fine. But you all move closer into the mine shaft, yes?
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm gonna move y'all. Oh God, Soot, you're in the wall.
Oh,
Soot.
So what's your marching order? Because as you go in, there is a mine cart in there, and you kind of have to squeeze around it, but it is a pretty dark passage. And about now, the sun is going down, and it's completely dark down here at the bottom of this ravine. So what's your marching order, starting?
If Cat's not going first, I will go first.
have a light?
What?
Does anyone have a light?
I have
Soot,
torches.
And then
Soot can cast light real quick on his prayer wheel and hold it up.
is that a
Sure.
cantrip?
Right.
Yeah, it's a cantrip,
Yeah,
but
you can
it's
do
only
that.
it's only a 20-foot radius of light.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah,
Okay.
so it'll be Helga, and then Soot in the middle with the light, and then Oran, and then Cat will take up the rear.
All right, so you're all, that's your marching order as you move in. As you, so, let me just,
Hi ho, into the rains we go.
Wow, we are mining. Are there any like diamonds and stuff?
so as you all move further into the mines,
Entirely ignored that bullcrap.
there's no way in hell I'm going to dignify that with a fucking response.
Howard.
Rude.
The path leads you, it heads straight for, about 40-50 feet until you approach, well, the tracks end, but the tunnel doesn't. There appears to be like a massive wall of boxes stacked up in front of you.
Soot takes a step back.
I'm still covering up my face and everything. And all we see are the boxes.
Yeah, just the boxes. It seems like they've been stacked up here, maybe as a barrier or something. You don't know how effective it was, though.
Snakes.
Probably
Then
not
the
effective.
lack of alive people, yeah.
Even
Probably
Helga can
not.
tell that.
Right? That's what I was about to say. Helga's got the right idea on this one.
Wah, wah.
So what you doing?
I'm going womp womp.
Okay. Spectacular. You're going womp womp.
Womp womp.
Are you doing this out
no.
loud? You're just
No,
saying
that's
womp
just in
womp?
my head.
Okay.
Not that rude. Shit.
I don't have anything for undead.
Oh, Helga's done some pretty tone-deaf things.
True. Yeah, Helga just kind of looks at it and quietly to herself goes, womp womp.
Yeah, it's not gonna do nothing.
Helga
Well,
has
I'm
no
dead.
tact. I have no diplomacy.
Ran, what are you thinking? How are you doing?
Me?
You seemed kind of, or Ran.
Oh.
You seemed kind of freaked out throughout all of that.
I mean, I'm not gonna make you roll an insight check. He seems very freaked out by all of this. He seems to... he's kind of looking around very shiftily, kind of jumping at any shadows. He definitely does not seem to be doing very well being away from Gurg.
Aw,
And
poor little twink.
just... Jesus Christ.
What? Is that me?
Yeah.
Is that it me?
No, it's not mean. It's just funny. No, stop battle music. Nothing's happening.
I was about to say the snakes are finally coming for us again.
No,
Oh, fucking snakes. Slither bears.
no, the horror music was not playing properly, so I was trying to get it back. Yeah, so, he kind of just looks around shiftily and looks at the boxes and then back at, you know, the battlefield that you all just left, and he just says, you know, for some reason, I feel like we're not safe anywhere here. I think we should just get past this and check on, see if there's any survivors. Maybe someone's hiding in there. This is a barricade, you know, maybe they were keeping those things out.
Maybe.
Oh,
Or keeping something in.
Oh,
Call out.
why you gotta say that?
I'm sorry, I'm nervous. I just, you know,
Well, we'll find out. One way or another.
we call out sanctuary, and Sut like cups his hands and makes the motion to like megaphone, like huh?
As you're about to do that, you hear from behind the boxes, "Shh, be quiet! What are you doing?"
Oh. What are you doing?
I'm trying to stay alive. Who are you?
We're here to rescue you.
Did the company send you?
Yes.
wasn't this.
Oh, thank the gods. Hey, you! Over here! Get these moved! And you hear a bunch of grunting and shifting. And eventually the boxes are moved, actually, and you're able to see a pair of humans and actually a vaguely familiar orcish person, Helga and Katrina, but only vaguely familiar.
Only vaguely.
Only vaguely. You don't technically. They seem to be, you know. There's only so many orcs in the area, and you kind of did meet all of them at one point.
This is like a bear bar.
Yes.
No,
Yes.
we
That's
were
where
kind
Helga
of
likes to go.
captured by orcs.
No, there was a permatear
my bear
camp that
joke.
they went to. Nope, I heard it. It was good.
Yeah, it
I'm
was
hilarious.
It was very funny. Thank you for that. So,
Mwah.
you are all let into this kind of what it looks like maybe an antechamber or something. and I didn't make character things for them, so I'm sorry, but
That's fine.
Imagining a room full of bears.
there's only a few of them.
Nice.
There's only 3 of them. There's a single orc, gray skin, and 2 humans, dark skinned. Don't know why I had to make that distinction. I'm cutting that out of the fucking final cut. Yeah, there's a pair of miners. They seem to be very haggard looking. All of them, like, have a lot of bruises and burns and cuts on them. And they seem to have made a little bit of a camp. There's the remains of a tiny fire, some cans of containers of food that seem to be very empty. All of them look very, very hungry. And they're looking at you desperately, like, and the one that had let you in, kind of an older gentleman, with a bit of a scraggly gray and black beard, and not much on top. He covers it with a dirty cap. What?
Nothing. I was being silly.
Okay, sorry, I didn't
He's
catch what you
making a
said.
beard joke.
Oh, okay. Now I lost what I was
Beards
saying.
if they're all gay.
He's easily distracted.
What was I saying? Seriously, you like actually like super distracted me. I'm sorry.
He's fine.
They're hungry. They need food. Do we have rations we can
They look
share?
desperate. Soot makes a motion to do like medicine, like not healing, but just quick like bandaging and
Medicine
healing.
check.
Medicine checks basically for all of them. What he can. For
Sure.
what he can.
Yeah, they don't like. You can tell just by looking at them. I won't make you roll for it, because we're trying to finish up pretty soon. But, they don't seem to be like in near starvation, but they definitely have not been eating well. They've definitely been in this one room for a few days, and you can kind of smell it off in the corner to the right.
Fine.
And
Nasty.
the one with the beard, kind of looks at you, looks at the 4 of you, and is like, "Is it safe to go out? Like, what? How did you get past those things?
We killed something.
You killed them."
We didn't really have much of a choice. They charged us.
No, you did the right thing.
Ooh, but they were people, weren't they?
They were once people. They were fucking monsters.
Oh, they're people and they fucked monsters and then they became monsters themselves.
What?
You said they
No.
were fucking monsters. You said they were fucking monsters.
Our dear friend Helga is quite literal.
Look, there was, and he kind of looks at the grayskin orc who like they all seem kind of like, you know, we're in this together, but he's definitely standing off a little further away from the rest of them, eyeing the rest of you warily. He doesn't seem to recognize either of you, Helga and Katrina. And he kind of looks at him. It's like, look, there was a raid a few days back, and in the scuffle, one of our boxes got overturned, and the foreman and a few others made contact with you. How much do you know about this place? And he looks at you very warily.
It's this special magic stuff.
Yeah. Long story short, whatever we've been mining in here, that's what turned those people into that.
Oh.
And it's all because of the raid that this happened.
The raid? Who raids?
And he looks at the orc.
Oh.
Orc doesn't talk much at all, actually. Hasn't spoken since you all arrived.
Go to heal him.
He doesn't seem to be needing healing, and he kind of steps back, kind of keeps a distance from you. Strange bird creature.
I said be with you. Friends? Friends of all.
It speaks
He-
He speaks in Orcish, which Soot, I don't think you know.
Oop.
Oh, Katrina knows.
Yes, so Katrina, you hear him say, I would like to leave.
And there's
Uh,
no one
yeah.
further in.
I repeat that back at him.
He looks very confused by that. The miner who was the miner with the beard, kind of, the other one is like a kind of a young human, maybe, 19. He's kind of scrawny, but he's dirty. He's wearing overalls. He doesn't seem to be talking much either. But the guy with the beard says, the foreman is in there, and he turns around, and you can see there's another barricade. The smelly part of the cave seems to have caved in. That seems to maybe have happened in the scuffle. But he looks back at the other barricade and he says, the foreman's in there with the rest of them. It's something different happened to him than to those out there. I've never seen anything like it. I've never seen the crystals do that.
Do
We
what?
found he didn't turn into a creature of fire, of ice, earth. Didn't turn into dust. He got dark. And the ones that he killed came back. And is the way clear? Can we leave?
Yeah.
The last we checked, yes.
Good.
I'm sorry, I know you're very, very freaked out by this.
Jeffries, get your shit. We're going.
Jeffrey.
And the kid kind of looks startled that he was addressed and like starts grabbing up like the rest of the food that they had and starts to shuffle out. And the guy with the beard kind of turns back to the orc and says, "Well, are you coming?" And the orc kind of looks at him, and like there's this weird like you don't know what they have dealt with over the past few days, but it's definitely been one of those like they probably will make a Lifetime movie about it.
Oh.
It's like 100 but like not like the happy Lifetime movie. It's like we're stuck in a hole and starving. It's like 127 hours kind of thing.
Oh.
It's been like
Yeah.
it's like definitely you're coming in at the tail end of 127 hours and like you have no fucking idea why he's sawing off his hand.
Ah.
But
I
like
don't think Lifetime makes movies like that.
it makes me want to cut off my hand. that was less than funny. Anyway, yeah, they just have this weird connection moment, and the orc kind of looks at you all for maybe direction.
So
And-
points.
And like finding very little, he follows after the man.
Blessed Fana be with you.
Aw.
Your voice echoes in the cavern, and you can very faintly hear in the distance behind the other barricade a very gentle
Ah!
and that's where we'll end our episode.
Look, are you mocking them?
I'm trying
No,
to
it
give them
wasn't
a
a mock. It
blessing.
was just a reaction.
That was an interesting reaction.
Was sending them off.
So, thank you all so much for being here, whether you're watching on YouTube or listening on your favorite podcast app. If you are listening to this on iTunes, please be sure to give us a review because it super duper helps us out. And if you're watching on YouTube, be sure to subscribe and leave a comment about your favorite part and your predictions for the next episode. Our episodes are now, they're every Friday, every single Friday. We changed that a little while back, and it seems to have really, really worked for our scheduling. We've also switched our recording days to Mondays, so that has also super helped. Actually, the episodes that you're listening to right now are from our most recent switch. So that's going to be you'll probably see a difference in our actual attention spans, which is spectacular. It's much shorter now. So please stay tuned for the next episode, which you can find on YouTube, Podbean, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and iTunes. Thank you all so much for being here. Please be safe, share some love, and tell a story. Good night.